What's up, YouTube fans? Today I've got a really exciting figure here. This is the Soul of Chogokin GX-71 Voltron. This kind of it sort of came out of nowhere. I mean, we knew it was coming, but it's competing directly against the Ultimate Voltron EX from Toynami. And also against the Playmates version, which obviously isn't in the same class as this, but a lot of Voltrons are coming out right now, and this thing really looks like it's something special. So I'm very excited to get this. By the way, this review is brought to you by Chosen Prime. I got this from them. They shipped it out pretty quick. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Chosen Prime. They really do a good job with shipping and with including extras, like if you pre-order any of the Takara Masterpiece figures, especially the new ones, they're coming with those little mini statue figures. They give you that for free without an extra charge. You know, it's basically $140 for the grapple figure, and it comes with the statue figure of the Ultra Magnus. So I'm pretty excited to, I'm hopefully getting to work with Chosen Prime in the future. We'll see if that works out. Right now we're just trying to start something here, so thanks Chosen Prime for sending this to me. So without any further ado, we'll get into this figure. This figure is made by Bandai, and I did have the original 1982 Voltron, 1982 or 1985, I can't remember. I had that one. I ended up selling it. It was in really good condition. I sold it for $300. And this guy is $300, so it works out perfectly. So the box is actually pretty darn heavy. We'll take a look here at the side. It does say Go Lion, which is the Japanese name for Voltron, GX-71, and some Japanese I can't read. And then here's the back of the box. Oh man, it looks so cool. There is, you got the 5 lines together. You've got Voltron holding a sword. You've got Voltron holding a solar combat spears, which I've never seen that before in the series. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You got him with his spinning laser blade or shield. A lot of people call it a shield. It's actually a spinning laser blade. It shows you kind of each of the lines with their weapons and their add-ons, and then you got the stand here. It really looks, it looks really amazing. And then you have optional number decals. I can't remember if in the show they had the numbers or not. I'll take a look, and when we're going through the figures, we'll maybe try to see if they should have the numbers or not. If they should, I'll put the numbers on. But that's really quite a cool, box. You also, on the bottom, it just says Voltron, Defender of the Universe. It is like a collector style box. It comes in a slip case here. So you take the slip case off. Get this off. It's pretty heavy, so you gotta kind of be careful if you want to keep the box in good condition, which I do. There you go. And the box underneath is exactly the same images everywhere, so we'd like to just get this guy open, but actually the front's a little different. Man, that looks cool. Yeah, I'm really excited for this guy. So let's get this guy open and we'll take a look at what's inside here. Yeah, I've been in the market for a masterpiece style Voltron like this, and I really looked at all the different options that are available, and this definitely looked like the best one. So I'm pretty excited to see what's to offer here. I considered the Ultimate Voltron EX, but it was a little too pricey for me, and it was a little too stylized too. It just wasn't too close to the original. So you do get a tray of, you have to assemble this. This is the stand for the sword and weapons. Set that off to the side, and here is a whole bunch of weapons here. Looks like each of these attached to the lions. You've got the double-edged sword, and you've got the Go Line and Voltron logos. Here's a really nice, pretty solid instruction book and the stickers that can apply yourself. And here are the figures. Now there's a plastic case on here so that the figures can't fall out. I love that it comes in this very nostalgic packaging. If any of you had the original Go Line or Bandai version of Voltron, it came just like this in a very similar package, kind of a styrofoam case that keeps it safe, and it didn't have this plastic cover on it, but it did have sort of that slip case on it. But really cool. I like the packaging a lot. I'm impressed so far just with even the packaging. Even this piece of plastic, it's a thick plastic. So let's get these guys out of here. Oh man, it's so heavy. Just this guy alone is super heavy. Wow. It feels like a solid chunk of metal. So let's get all these guys out of here. Then they have these little plastic, sort of like inserts there to keep it from, I guess, the styrofoam getting stuck on the figure. Very thoughtful that they did that. You know, they didn't just stick it in there. They thought about, and here's all the weapons here in separate little baggies. I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they just put it in a slip bag rather than sealing them shut. But I think it's painted, so they probably wanted to protect the paint. These are also very sharp, so you gotta be careful with those. We'll take out the blue line here. Oh my god, it looks awesome. My blue line is my favorite line. And here's red lion. Pretty cool. And then we've got the sword. Really, really cool looking sword. Man, this comes with so much stuff. It's crazy. It's like, I guess for $300 you better get a lot of stuff, right? But this really is impressive how much stuff they gave you. Alright, so right out of the box, here are all of the 5 figures. Sorry, a little off camera there. I haven't even touched them. They've never been looked at. Pretty freaking sweet. I'm maybe gushing a little bit on these guys, but it's very reminiscent of the original toy. So we'll get let's get some weights on these guys. We'll get out our scale and take some weights here. All right, we got our scale here. Let's take a look at weight on these guys. Let's see if we can actually even see the weight. I'm not sure this camera's going to pick up the numbers or not, but we'll see. So this guy is, the black line is a pound and roughly 2 ounces, which is insane. That's crazy. Blue line is about 12 ounces. Yellow also 12 ounces. The red line about 3. I'm guessing green is also, yeah, about 3. So pretty hefty figures here. Now let's just take a quick look at size. Oh my god, the joints on this are incredible. It's just such good ratchet joints. Let's just set them like that for now. I'm not really going to pose them or anything. So height wise, about 4 inches tall. From head to, well, let's get the tail out here. Head to tail, if you have it straight out, about 7 inches. So pretty nice, decent size. It definitely is reminiscent of the original figure. I don't have the original, unfortunately I sold it, but this does remind me of that in terms of the size and look and feel. So let's start off with the lions themselves, and then we'll get into weaponry and everything else. So we'll start off with Black Lion here. We'll just get these guys out of the way. Yeah, right off the bat, I mean, it just looks so cool. He does have quite a bit of articulation. So the legs are articulated in quite a couple places. So you got a rotation at the hip, although I believe that's mostly for Voltron mode. You've got a nice ratcheted knee. You've got a ratcheted foot, which is also on a ball joint, so you can get this in any direction you want. And then the whole thing, this bottom part is definitely die cast. This top part also feels like die cast, but it's hard to tell. And the whole figure is pretty damn heavy. So you've got all those joints, but then you've got this angle joint here, and even that is ratcheted. That's crazy. So yeah, you can get him out wide like that if you wanted to, and same with the front legs. You can get him out wide and maybe down a little bit. Yeah, I mean this is just incredible, incredible articulation here. The tail is also articulated. Looks like it's on a ball joint. It's on a swivel here for the transformation, and then this end part is on the ball joint, so you can kind of get it anywhere you want. The head is on what looks like what's going to be Voltron's neck here, so you get a little bit up and down, and then you get a little more up and down here, but if you go too far it exposes this sort of cover here, so you can't go too far down. And then obviously the mouth does open up here, and you kind of have to be careful because if you open it too much you expose the Voltron head there. There it is. So you probably just want to open it up maybe just a little bit, kind of like that. And that's a pretty cool look. As a kid I used to open up these, even though that's for Voltron. I don't know why. I just like the ears. By the way, these are plastic. The head is plastic. The neck is plastic. As far as I can tell, die cast. All of the chrome parts are die cast. The legs, the behind legs all feel like die cast. This piece here feels like die cast. In the mid chest section is plastic. This logo, it just looks awesome. I'm going to show up a close up here. It's not just painted, it's molded 3D plastic here for this logo. It really just, it looks amazing in person. I don't know if it comes across camera, but in person that's just really an impressive mold there. So pretty good on this guy. So far I'm very impressed. Now you can articulate these wings here, but for the most part this guy never really had wings in these are really sharp on the ends. You got to be careful. You could probably easily break these if you were, kind of. Wondering. Oh, okay. You gotta fold it down and then fold it in and then fold it down. But yeah, there's not really any point to articulating these until he's in Voltron mode, so we're just gonna leave that alone. But I'm pretty impressed with this guy in terms of articulation and the paint. I can't find anything in terms of poor paint quality. Everything is like spot on. By the way, this is painted, the face and the nose. This is all molded plastic and amazingly done. This might be painted, but this piece, the gold, looks like a molded gold piece of plastic. Lots of different screws here, and they're very well hidden because they're sort of colored with the color of the plastics. You can't really tell, but just amazing quality on this guy. I'm blown away by the black lion there. Alright, so we'll bring in now the yellow lion. Oh, I think I left out one. There is a joint here, so you can collapse this chest section here, or you can extend it, and you get a little bit of ab crunch there. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. Or you can have it collapsed and have him a little bit shorter. I think he's meant to be all the way out like this. But either way, it looks good both ways. It's just an incredible, impressive piece of toy. All right, let's take a look at the yellow line here. And I've seen others review this, so there's a question that I've had that nobody's really answered and nobody's even tried. Do the ears open up? I don't know. Let's see. Actually, I can tell already they don't. So they're molded right to the face. They look like they should open up, but they don't. Which is not a big deal. I don't really care. I remember the original cartoon or original toy. These ears flapped open on the Matchbox version, and it had like little guns inside. But not a big deal. They don't open up. That's fine. But yeah, the rest of it. Oh man, it's awesome. So you do get, you know, an ab crunch right here. Actually, you get 2 clicks of ab crunch. 1, 2. So you can get him into a sitting pose, I guess, where it looks like he's really sitting down. Let's take a look at that. There you go. So here he is sitting down. As far as the legs, articulation of the legs, it's pretty much the same as the Black Lion. You've got the rotation here, an angle out, so a ball joint there. Actually, that's not a ball joint. It looks like a swivel with a. There's quite a few joints in there. It's hard to tell. There's like 3 different joints inside there. It's pretty impressive engineering. You've got a ratcheted knee. The foot isn't ratcheted, but it's nice and tight, and it is on a ball joint, so you can kind of get it in any direction. The claws are really nice and big, so you can get him into sort of a sitting pose here. The feet actually look a little big, scale-wise. I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, you can have him sitting like this, kind of like a dog sitting down, which is, I think it's pretty cool that they made it so articulated you could do that. And he does have a couple of other little features here. This, I remember this on the original toy. This actually would pop up. This one doesn't pop up. It just stays, it's stationary, but this does articulate, and that's awesome. I love that they included that. I didn't even take the tail out. And it is exactly the same as the Black Lion. It folds out, and it's on a little ball joint, so you can get it almost in any direction. The tail itself is like this soft kind of plastic. I guess that's so it doesn't break. It's not metal, which is good. I like that they thought ahead about that. But boy, this thing looks just incredible. The paint, the quality, the accuracy. I mean, it really is amazing. You get open. The mouth does open there. It looks like there's some kind of missile in there, but I don't see how you could, open that up. It's sort of jammed in there. Anyway, it's still pretty cool. It opens up just fine. And that's really about it for the robot mode. It's an impressive piece. We'll get this back here. Next, let's take a look at the Blue Lion. Blue Lion is actually my favorite lion. I see a little blemish here. It looks like a scratch. That's kind of unfortunate. Not a deal breaker or anything, but there's a little scratch here in the silver. Either a scratch or a blemish, I don't know, but for the most part, I don't see a lot of things like that. That's the first one I've caught, actually. Same thing with the tail, folds out, articulates on a ball joint. Same thing for the legs, exact same articulation. And we'll have him doing the same kneeling pose. And also the same exact ab crunch as the yellow line. So again, this guy is is one of my favorites. Oh, we didn't cover head articulation. It does have up and down here. Goes up pretty far. It goes all the way up to there. It goes all the way down to there. And left and right just a little bit. I believe you can move the whole thing, and that's for transformation. Oops. Well, clearly the head pops off, so you want to be careful about that. The head is plastic. I believe this is part of the gimmick for, you know, when they were able to shoot their heads off. Now, I thought that was just the green and yellow, green and red lines that could shoot their heads, but I guess these come off too. But that's cool. Rather than breaking, it just comes off. It's nice. So here he is in his sitting pose. Really quite nice. Very nicely painted. I like the fact that they included the little detail there. Yeah, everything about this just is cool. Now, this I remember this popped up in the original. It doesn't move, but there is something here. There's a little weapon in there. That's kind of neat. I love how they included that. So it looks like, yeah, okay. So you can get it all the way up there, and then it kind of sits flat. And I love that. That's awesome. So how do you get it back in? I don't know. Getting it back in. Oh, okay. So you kind of have to. It doesn't feel very good going back in, to be honest, but it's fine. You just fold it all the way out, and it sort of kind of locks into place there. So, well designed feature there. I don't remember this on the original toy. I think there was like this whole red piece popped up, but either way, I really like that. I really like the inclusion of that feature. So overall, very nice blue line. My favorite line. All right, onto red line, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like these are not ratcheted. The legs aren't ratcheted, but they're still. Are they die cast? Yeah. So the top parts of the legs are die cast. The bottom is plastic, which is different from these guys. These guys are die cast. The whole. Both front and back legs. Here it feels like just the, well, it's hard to tell. Some of it feels like die cast, some of it doesn't. At least this mid part is die cast. It's very hard to tell if this feels like plastic now that I'm touching it. So maybe that's die cast. Maybe that's plastic. Same for the front. I believe this mid part of the arm is die cast and the rest is plastic, which is fine. Now this guy does sort of articulate a little bit, so you can pull the head out one pull before it comes out all the way. It shoots off, so you get it up to there, and then you get up and down, and no left and right really, just a little waggle, a little wiggle waggle. You can open up the mouth here. Oh, and it reveals a gun there. That's cool. He's got a little gun in his mouth. Oh, and that articulates too. That's awesome. But this one for sure, it does articulate. Just got to get your finger under it, and it's kind of tough. You maybe could use a tool. Let me grab a tool. And my little handy dandy screwdriver here. So you can really get that looking cool. I like this guy. I'm impressed. The original Voltron, the red line, was not impressive in any way. It was just a little tiny guy, and this guy, it's the mold. The head mold is really cool. For the tail, you get a little ball joint here for the back of the tail. Now this part articulates because of the transformation to Voltron. This is all die cast in here. And you get a little bit of wiggle waggle on the back of the tail, but not as much as the yellow and blue and black lion. But still, for the size and the fact that it's smaller, I like that it's smaller. I know the DreamWorks Playmates version of Voltron, all the lines were kind of the same size. my recollection from the cartoon is that the red and green lions were smaller. They were a different size, and the toy was that way too. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least the toys, that's how it was. So I like the fact that that's the way these are too. I feel like it should mimic the original toy, but also be accurate to the show, and I think they've done that. You also have this little pop-up feature here, which is kind of cool. Got a little, I don't know what that is, a radar or a gun, some kind of feature there. You also get the articulation here, which is really meant for the arm of Voltron, but you get it. And then you got an extension here, which is awesome. It extends out. I think that's also for the Voltron. It looks kind of weird in this mode. I mean, he shouldn't really be extended like that. He should be like this. But very, very nice. So you get the turn and you get the bend here. So you can really get him in some weird poses because of those Voltron, the hinges meant for Voltron. You can get this guy into some awkward poses. Alright, and finally on to Green Lion, last one here. Obviously this can be very similar. He has a little bit different of a paint scheme. He's got the gold sort of rivets here instead of the silver. I love that it's unique like that, and even the top is unique. This is more squared off, this is more rounded. So it's different, you feel like each line is unique and different, and I love that. So let's same articulation and everything, so I'm not going to cover that again, but he really does look good. Let's open up his mouth here. And same kind of feature there. He's got the little gun inside his mouth. And let's take a look at this here. And it's nice to put a little tab for you to grab it, so you can open it. And that's different. It's different than the red line. So there they are, all 5 lions in their incredibly impressive lion modes. This is amazing. Really what they've done is they've taken the original toy, and with 20 or 30, 30 years? 1985, it's 27, wow, so it's more than 30 years. More than 30 years old, this toy. And they've really taken all the technology and all of the things available at this time to make huge advances in the articulation, in the quality, in the paint, in the features, in the design, in the stability, all of that stuff. And I feel this is at the level of a masterpiece Voltron. That's what we're getting here. Now it comes with a masterpiece price at $300. That's pretty hefty. I never envisioned myself buying a $300 figure, to be honest, but here it is, and kind of bought it on a whim. So what we're going to do is get the weapons out so we can arm these guys up in their lion modes and kind of show off what they have. So we're going to get those out, get the instruction book out, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I got all the accessories out and I got the book. I actually wanted to show this because it's a pretty awesome instruction booklet. The first page has original shots from the, I want to say G1. I know it's not G1, but it's just the original cartoon. And you just got, a couple of pictures here. Now, he doesn't have numbers on the lions, so I don't think I'm going to put the numbers on just because it's not cartoon accurate. It's very awesome. I love that they included the numbers for you to apply them, but I just don't think I'm going to put them on because they didn't have in the original cartoon. So it's there. I love that they have the option, but I think I'm going to leave those off for now. And then you've got original G1 cartoon pictures of each of the individual lions, showing them kind of in an action pose and a sitting pose, and then their actual pilots here. And yeah, it's really awesome. Not sure what's going on here. You've got some kind of crown on him. This is interesting. I can't really tell what this is, but it looks like the lions have manes on them. This one, and that one, they have like manes around their head. So maybe this was original concept art or something, and they never actually make it. Fortunately, it's Japanese and I can't read it, but really, just an awesome book. It's cool. Then you've got, okay, here's what's in the package. You've got the 5 lions. You've got the spinning laser blade, the blazing sword, the solar combat spears, which I don't even remember from the cartoon. Each of the individual lions' weapons for their mouths, and then the spinning laser blade handle. That's just so we can hold it. And then over here you've got the actual pedestal, so we're going to build that. And then instructions on the individual lions here, just how to transform them, how to make them sit. I love that they just include instructions just to show you how to make him sit down, just in case you couldn't figure it out on your own. They've got that. And then to show you which weapons go on him, they have a picture showing you the weapons that go with this guy. So very, very nice instruction book, and I wish I could read the Japanese because I'm sure there's useful information there, but I can't read it. What I'm looking at here is the Voltron head is not visible, so I don't know how they opened it up that far without getting the Voltron head to be visible. I wonder if it folds up. Oh, it does fold up. Oh man, they thought of everything here. Yeah, so the Voltron head has a separate joint. I mean, it does come down with the figure, but let me try that again. I'm not sure. Yeah. Does it? Yep. So you can rotate this up out of the way, and then you can have Black Lion's mouth open without the Voltron head showing, which is really cool. You know, they just even thought about the little details like that. That's so cool. I did verify that the blue and yellow lines, these do not move. Those aren't guns that you can position. They're fixed in place, which is fine. I don't remember them ever shooting anything out of their mouth, but it looks more like they have like a little tongue or something in there. But that's neat. So let's build this this base here, and they do give you nice instructions. It shows you how to build it and where everything goes. So let's do that. Let's get this thing together. It does kind of start with the base here, and they tell you to bring in the steps as the first kind of thing, and you're going to assemble this together. So let's see how this goes together. Okay, it just kind of slides together. It's not snap construction, which I love because I can take this apart if I ever want to sell this. I'm never selling this, but if I ever want to sell this, I could take it apart and you know, do what I need to do to put it back in the box. And this also just slides together. There's no snap. I like that there's no snap. It is firm. It goes together firmly, but it's not. You're not committed. You're not committed to having it together. You can always take it apart, which makes me very happy. I'm glad that they didn't make you commit to doing it. Let's see. I don't see. Okay, looks like this slides in as well. I believe it goes in like this. So yeah, so this slides in here as almost like a little shelf, which, oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I'm so impressed with this little piece of plastic that they made here. It's the design is just really, oh man, it's awesome. All right, and then we'll get everything onto here so you guys can see that too. And there you go. You have the fully mounted weapon stand. I'm thoroughly impressed with this. I think this is an amazing feature to include. This down here it just screams awesome. You know, somebody put a lot of love and care into this thing. So let's get this off to the side here, and now we can mount up the... there is one other accessory that I haven't even looked at yet. This is the face for Voltron. We will get this mounted in robot mode. I just wanted to show there is one more thing here. But all of the other accessories fit here. Fit in this... actually, you know what? I think this fits in here too. My God, they thought of everything. I mean, I don't know what this... There's a little tab here. It would appear that is for this face. Yeah, it is for the face. My God, they thought of everything. Everything, every little piece stores in this guy. I can't... I'm just blown away by this thing. And this is... I'm only looking at the little plastic stand here, so even this is just... The level of quality is amazing. Alright, so let's get this moved kind of off to the side so we can individually look at the weapons for these guys. We're going to start with the green line. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the black line. He does have his mouth weapon here. Well, I'm not really sure if that's how it's supposed to go or not. It does fit. It's in between teeth there. That's good enough. I'm not gonna try to force it and break it. And man, this is such an expensive figure, but good enough. And then you can take these guys, and I don't remember these in the cartoon. And again, I haven't watched the cartoon in, I don't know, over 30 years, so my memory may not be the most accurate, but apparently he has little weapons for his line mode, and they do tab in there quite nice. Yeah, really, just impressive. I love the weapons. I love that they're color coded. I like these things on the side. I think it's really cool. Alright, so let's take a look at Green Lion here. And again, I gotta check because, to be honest, I don't know which of these weapons. Obviously, the Green Lion's sword is color coded, so that's kind of obvious that that's the one that goes with it. It's this. But in terms of the other weapons, which are all sort of bluish gray, it's not obvious which weapon goes with which. Whether it goes with the green line or the red line. So it looks like it's this stuff, these two here, and we'll get all this stuff mounted here. These have a nice little tab, and if you look inside the mouth here, hopefully you can see that on the camera. There is a little tab there for this, or not a tab, a little slot for the tab. And let's see how, yep, it goes in very nicely. Oh, I pulled it out myself. And then you close it. That fits like a glove. That's nice and tight. That's not going anywhere. And then you can attach these, and I don't know which one goes on which side. Maybe we'll just get them in there. This one over here. And we'll get this one on this side somehow. So the tab on the actual weapon is articulated, so you can angle this weapon. Wow, that blows me away. The level of detail on this thing, and the real thought and care that's put into this to think about. Yeah, someone might want to angle this. That's amazing. It's just amazing. So there's Green Lion, all armed up. Get him back there. Move on to Red Lion. Same kind of deal. He's got a little tab on the bottom. I really like his weapon. It's cool looking. It's best to get this open as much as you can, so you can actually get the tab in there. And again, the teeth are kind of sharp and thin, and I'm worried about breaking them, but so far nothing's happened. It just feels like they're gonna break. By the way, you do want to pull these legs out. They kind of give it a bigger, you know, more beefier stance here. And then we'll get his weapons out, and I don't know which one goes on which side, so I'm just gonna put them both in. Now it does use different tabs here. These are circular versus those were rectangular, so it's cool that they thought through that a little bit. These are kind of tough to get in. Oh, there we go. Now these, they just kind of turn inside of the socket. They don't have that articulating plastic tab, but whatever. It's still very nice. So there is Red Lion, all armed up. Very, very awesome. I love these weapons. This one's actually kind of cool. It's got this little, it feels like bendable plastic in it. I mean, why did they include this level of detail and paint? I don't know. But it's freaking awesome. You know, above and beyond with this character, with this figure. You know, really, really above and beyond. So we'll start with Blue Lion then, since he's number 4. So we get same kind of thing, little tab, slot in the mouth, and you get that in there, and pure genius. I'm being a little extra nice. Oh wow! Okay, so these things are doubly. It's got like a spring mounted, and then it's there's a lot of joint in there. I don't know what's in there, but it's like a very complex joint that it comes out really far. You can really get a lot of movement on that. And same with these back ones, you can get them out pretty far out, so you can make him a lot beefier. And again, I don't remember these in the cartoon, so if somebody knows, you know, where these came from, and you know, if you could tell me what episode, maybe I can get a screenshot of that or something and post it on my Facebook page. But I honestly don't remember ever seeing these weapons, but I think they're cool. They look really awesome. I love the way they look. I love that you have the option of having those. Alright, so there we go with the Blue Lion all armored up. And finally we'll get to the Yellow Lion. Same thing. It's got a little tab. Open up the mouth. You can get it in there. And I do like this weapon too. It kind of looks like a little dagger. Get his shoulders out all the way. I don't think I pulled these out all the way. There we go. Alright. And we'll get his weapons off the stand here. And we'll get this on here. I really like this. This reminds me of Wreck-Gar. Wreck-Gar had, you know, the wheels that would mount on his shoulders. This is very reminiscent of that to me. Oh, and this has the same feature. That's so cool. It's got a articulating tab, so you can rotate it. I mean, I don't know why you want to rotate it, but that's just awesome. It's so thoughtful. You know, they really. And this too. This has the articulating tab, so once you stick it in there, you can rotate it. This one's a little loose, or maybe I'm not getting it in there right. I don't know. Let's try switching them. Alright, that fits a little better, but again, very, very cool looking. You can also articulate this thing here. So, all sorts of weapons on this guy. There you go. So that's all of them. Just back out here. That is all of the lions, all armed up and ready to go to battle. Really, really impressive. I think this is the definitive Voltron of I don't know, the last 3 decades, the last 4 decades. Obviously, the 1982 version, the Bandai, either Matchbox or Go Lion versions, both were, really started this whole thing. And even to this day, those are some really good figures. But what this does is takes those and goes to the next level, right? It takes it and steps it up to what I consider masterpiece quality. And without a doubt, this is the best Voltron that's ever been made. We'll get these guys at least transformed into their ready to go to robot mode, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got every lion into their robot mode form, and there was actually a couple of things I wanted to cover that I thought were really cool, so I am going to go over a little bit of the transformation. One thing, the leg lines, they have this locking mechanism that's pretty cool. So when you bring the head down, you'll see that it's going to pop out the legs here. It's actually pretty tight. You need, I'll show that too. So see how the legs just popped out? They have this extra spring. When you press them in, they stay in until you bring the head back down, and then they pop out. And that is for transformation. That's pretty cool. It also has this little feature here, which is a heel spur for robot mode. This is a really heavy die cast piece, so that's not going anywhere. So between the head, the heel spur, and the feet, which are supposed to line up for support, you got plenty of support here on the foot, and that's what gives you the articulation on the foot, is all that extra stuff kind of holding it down, holding it in place. So that was really cool. I wanted to share that. The other thing is the arms. You can take these tails off if you want to, but you don't have to. They can fit inside the black lion, but they have the option of doing that. And the other thing I want to talk about is the black lion. Black lion has some interesting stuff going on. It's got these locking mechanisms here on the arms, and I can't seem to get this one to lock in. Unfortunately, something's not quite right here on the right side. I've tried to push it pretty hard, but I don't want to break it. So the left one went in pretty good, but it basically locks it from rotating. So when you have in robot mode, these things stay. And yeah, I haven't transformed the head yet, so we'll save that for the end. But it really has some nice joints. You can tell it's going to be nice and strong in Voltron mode. So that was about it. So let's get this guy transformed. You do have little doors here, and that's where the foot goes in. Okay guys, so I figured out this mechanism here. So you open up this little door, you gotta hold down this button on the back here, and that kind of releases the trigger, and then it locks in, and then you kind of close that up to seal it off, and it gets a really nice seal. Oh, by the way, one thing I didn't cover, these little feet that are on ball joints, they actually, you can pop them off, and this is metal. So I'm glad that they made it a ball joint rather than something that could potentially break. You can just pop these off, so you don't have to worry too much about that whole piece breaking. It's gonna come off the ball joint first. So same for this side. You're going to push the door in, and then you're going to hold down the button and slide it in there. Oops. And you're going to slide it in there, and then close the door on the back, and we now have the legs. So next we have the arms, and I'm guessing these are going to be pretty simple. Just slide right in there. Yeah, they just kind of click in there. And same for this side. Oh, maybe not the same for this side. Let's see. Okay, it is the same. And then you bring the head down and open up the mouth here. Bring that all the way down, and there you have Voltron, fully formed in his robot mode, and he looks awesome. Let's just zoom out here a little bit. So this thing is pretty impressive. It's very hard to see on camera why, what is making this thing so awesome. In person, imagine you have that original toy, but just with a lot better articulation and a lot better sculpt. That's really what we got here. We got the original, Voltron toy with just everything added, all the works, and it is awesome. So let's just go over articulation in robot mode. He really is quite articulated. You get the arms go all the way up to there. Very, very nice tight ratchet joints. No risk of these falling down for any particular reason. You also have the rotation here. Everything's a ratchet joint. Oops. Yeah, and I did mention that this lock doesn't seem to want to stay, but now it's okay. So you do have nice rotation there, and it holds just fine. Let's take a look at the leg. This is pretty heavy. I'd be surprised if this holds. Yeah, that doesn't hold, but it does hold this way, so it's not going anywhere. So you can get a nice wide pose and some good articulation there. There we go. And here you have a pretty cool, just a few quick moves, and now I've got this pretty nice pose for Voltron, which was never possible with the old Voltron. You couldn't get him into a pose like this. He wasn't capable of this kind of leg articulation. So the next obvious thing is the sword here. It works the same way as the weapons in lion mode. You've got a little tab here that goes into the top of the mouth. And so we'll open this up here. Get that in there. It's actually kind of hard to see from this angle, so you can get behind here. It holds it kind of low on the hilt, so you gotta really get it in there and make sure it's tabbed in. There you go. It tabs in and beautifully. It's a very nice hold. And that looks awesome. I think they did a great job with that sword. One thing that I've noticed you can't really do is get both hands on. At least I've seen the other reviewers saying that you can't get both hands to hold. Now this is getting irritating. The fact that you can't seem to get let's get that back up. can't seem to get this arm to lock in. For whatever reason, it's not going in all the way. I'll have to figure out why, but still not a huge issue. So if we can get, so you can't really get both arms around the handle. That's the closest I can get to having both hands on the sword. Oh, there we go. That's pretty close. That's about as good as it gets. So it's damn close to having both hands on the sword, but just short, just shy of being able to do it. But again, not a big deal. I still think this guy is really good. Now we'll get the spinning laser disc here in. Take a look at how that fits. It's got the same mechanism, little tab here to get it in. And that goes in just fine. And so you can have it sort of any way you want. On the side, turned this way. It's got a little thing so you can kind of have it however you want. So there he is with his sword and, I don't know, I'm forgetting the name. Spinning laser disc? Is that what it was? Yes, spinning laser blade. Sorry, I have always thought of it as a shield, but they call it a spinning laser blade. So, I don't know if this comes across on video, but in person this thing is just incredibly impressive. It's probably one of the best figures I own, to be honest. Heft, so we didn't weigh this guy. Let's take a look at the weight. And we'll be fair. We'll get rid of his weapons, so those don't count towards the weight of Voltron. Oh, look at that. So you can take off this little wrist guard for posing. If you didn't want the wrist guard, you take it off. But I think this wrist guard looks really cool. You should leave that on. We'll take this shield off. And by the way, these look awesome. I love the way they look with Voltron. So let's get him standing up here. Back to a regular pose. Alright. So we'll get him on the scale here. So you guys can see that. So he weighs in at 3 pounds 2 ounces. It's pretty damn heavy. That's a big boy. 3 pounds of Voltron. We'll also kind of get him measured up here. So height wise, if you go up his shoulder, 10 inches, head about 11, and the tippy top of the wings is about 13, so about 13 inches including the wings. So pretty nice size figure and a nice heft. Really feels like a quality figure given the size and the weight. Now you do have options here. You can have it like that, kind of stubby kind of guy, and I'm sure there's people that prefer that. I prefer a little bit more traditional proportions. You can also have the arms in if you want them to be, again, if you want it to be stubby. Now that does prevent a little bit of the articulation. You get a little bit longer of an arm there. So you should have it out. In my opinion, that's the better proportions, is having these extended. But again, you have the option, and that's something beautiful that Bandai has done. They've given you a lot of options with this guy, a lot of choice on how you want to display him, what kind of what kind of pose you want him in. One of the things that I did want to talk about was the head here, so let's get in close on the head sculpt. It is a very nice head sculpt. When I saw reviews of this guy, I noticed that the bottom of the chin kind of came out, you know, really far down. And having him in hand, it's not that bad. You don't really notice it. It just kind of disappears under the bottom of the chest here. But you do get very good articulation here. You get a little bit of up. You actually can get quite a bit of up. If you wanted to, you can get them all the way up like that. You can get him down just a little bit, not too much down. But yeah, he's got plenty, every possible articulation you could want in this guy, it's there. Now I am having issues with this, so I would probably maybe ask Chosen Prime about that. You know, what's the deal with the locks not necessarily really locking in? And I know they should, but it's just really tight, so I don't want to force it. But it works just fine, even though it doesn't lock. The rest of the figure is not hindered by the lock not going all the way in. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's really everything there is with this GX-71 Soul of Chogokin. Again, I don't have any other Soul of Chogokin figures, or SOC, whatever people call it. This is my first one, and I'm definitely impressed. You know, if they made another Voltron like the Voltron 1, I think it was Voltron 1 or maybe it was Voltron 2. Voltron 1, which had the vehicle Voltron. If they make that, man, it's gonna be incredible. The level of detail and the quality. I would definitely buy that if they made that, because just look at it, you know, it's just freaking incredible. So here we go. Put that laser spinning again. I keep forgetting the name of that stupid thing. Spinning laser blade. Really, it's actually nicely detailed as well. I didn't even talk about that. Nice paint details. Nice chrome work. It is plastic, so you just want to be careful. And also these tips of the wings here, they're very sharp, very thin, so you got to be careful with those. You don't want to drop it or you know, run your finger against it accidentally. But really loving this guy. Really happy with this purchase. Thank you, Chosen Prime, for getting this to me pretty quickly. And I hope to maybe take some pictures of this guy and post it on my Facebook page, so check that out when you get a chance. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time.